Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Mental Health Minute. My name is Jaylyn Smith, and you may know me, but if you don't, allow me to reintroduce myself or introduce myself to you. So, you're probably going to hear me talk a lot about anxiety disorder, and it is one of the things that I'm diagnosed with, but also the thing that I have to manage and maintain daily. Anxiety attacks for me can trigger multiple times a day if I'm not careful. Because I've dealt with a lot of different forms of trauma, I've got multiple triggers that appear at least once a day in regular course of my life. I found that there are some coping mechanisms that work fairly well for me and others just do not. I encourage you to get with your therapist to discuss some options or do your own research if you need to find out what works best for you. Today, however, we're going to visit my top 2 coping mechanisms in order of frequency. Today I'll go into detail about the first, and then next week we'll discuss the second. My number 1 coping mechanism is journaling, and yep, that's right, I do journal. If you know me at all, you know that I've written 5 books, and the last 3 began as journal entries and spiraled into books. I want to tell you how journaling helps me cope because I think it's important to share our journeys with each other. And if I didn't wholeheartedly believe that, you wouldn't be watching this video. The book of Habakkuk is really short. It's 3 chapters. And in the second of the 3 chapters, in the second verse, God told Habakkuk to write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. The next verse says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak and it will not lie. Though it tarried, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. I've heard that verse for the first time in a song, and when I read the words finally in the Word of God, I knew that writing was never going to let me down. I had always written because I was good at it, but those words created purpose in my heart for everything that I said. And other people's words began to matter in a way to me that they didn't matter before. On paper, I was very expressive. I wasn't bound by anyone's standard. On paper, I could say what I wanted, and even though often the only sound was pen to paper, I knew God heard me when I wrote. The chaos of the world was on a fragile piece of paper, and I controlled what happened to it, and that made me feel powerful. What started as a way to flex my skills in childhood became a way to be heard in my adolescence. And when my mom passed away, publishing those words acted as a way to grieve and also to honor my mother. Now that I'm focused on my ministry and mental health, those words are a pathway for purpose and ministry. They're also a way to empty my mind of anything that seeks to destroy my peace and a way to view triumphs. When I go back through my journals, I see days in the past that honestly I didn't believe that I would make it through. If you haven't thought of journaling, I'd say just try it. There aren't any rules, just write. Next week, what we'll talk about is my number 2 coping mechanism, which is grounding. And I hope you'll come back and see me and get an opportunity to discuss that. So until next week, be well, like, subscribe, comment, share, and don't forget to write.